What's up, guys? So I wanted to talk about my new kind of challenge that I'm putting on myself here in 9 weeks, I believe. I got to look it up again. I will be competing in my first tactical games. This is something that I've kind of wanted to do for quite some time. I just didn't know all of the different ones that were out there. Some are more shooter based, as far as some of the shooting competitions, and then obviously there's a lot of like fitness based, challenge things like that. I kind of want to say it's like CrossFit, even though I am not a CrossFitter at all and never will be. I hate CrossFit. But this is more like strength endurance based. It's a lot of running, technical drills, like hopping over things, box jumps, sandbags, all that sort of stuff. And then when you get done doing that, you have to go into your shooting program, which is either rifle related or pistol or both. I haven't shot in quite some time. I would say I'm a very proficient marksman. It's something that I did growing up for a very long time. My father was a two-time world champion. My mom hunts, dad hunts, all my family hunts. So I was around guns for a really long time. Obviously, growing up, it was not anything new or different in my family to be around that and shoot, pretty much every weekend. So, but the hard part is putting the fitness together with the marksmanship. So I've created a plan, and that's kind of what I wanted to go over, as myself, kind of self-assessing what I need to be more proficient at as far as fitness wise. I'm very in tune. Like, I'm not going to lie to myself and say that I can just go down there and do it and win or something like that. I'm one that always does a lot of studying, does a lot of preparation. I do a lot of research on things that I want to do and compete in. So, with that being said, I started my training program yesterday. And then today I sort of did the same thing I did yesterday. And it involves more strength and conditioning work, not so much just strength. Obviously, as a bodybuilder in the past, we do not lift the same as strength athletes. Strength athletes are more proficient at just moving weight. It's not about technique or anything like that. So a lot of times, a lot of those guys are more prone to getting hurt. And especially someone from my nature of bodybuilding, just going into that and not doing like mobility and training like that, that also leads to getting hurt because, throwing around, 100-pound sandbags and stuff like that, you're going to put your body in a lot of different kinks, a lot of things it's not used to. So my training plan is more specific towards all that stuff and targeting obviously what my weak points are. Weak points that I found as far as training in the gym the last 2 days, definitely core strength, definitely a lot of back strength, more agility. I would say for the class that I'm actually going to compete in, I've watched some of those classes. They're not, most of the guys are not super athletic. More of those guys are more kind of proficient at weaponry or shooting versus the fitness side. And then once you get up in the categories, like to the elite category is what they call it, those guys are obviously more proficient at both because they've been doing the program for quite some time. I believe the tactical game started in 2018 is what I've heard. It's now 24, so probably a good 2-year stint out of that as well. Probably not as busy. So really people are still pretty new to this concept. It is growing. There is, I believe, 7 or 8, or maybe 9 competitions all around the U.S. from East Coast, West Coast to South. So the first one I'll be doing is in Texas, and if I like it, and I do well, then I'll definitely search out doing another one. But the problem is there's just not a lot of them in a centrally located area. So, they're the first one this is actually this weekend, and it's in Arizona, or not this weekend, but next weekend it's in Arizona. So More or less, I just wanted to kind of come on here and just give like an overview of what I will be doing for the next, 9, 10 weeks or whatever, preparing for this. It's definitely put me in a lot better mood because I have something to work towards. I think that's also something I kind of wanted to get out there to people, that a lot of people don't set goals for themselves, or want to challenge themselves, or do something like goal-based to work towards something they want to compete in. And I'll tell you right now, from my experience, anytime I'm physically active and demanding that I progress in something, I'm in a much better mood. I was much more positive in the gym yesterday. I said, and this might not sound like a lot to some people, but I said hello to a lot more people. A lot of people kind of smiled at me. There was just a different atmosphere yesterday that made me feel a lot better going after a goal like this that I'm excited about. So for those of you that are interested in the journey, obviously I'll be posting more content for some of that kind of training. If anybody has any questions about it, definitely feel free to hit me up on the bottom. If you guys are looking to do something like that, I'd love to hear from you guys. I'm definitely looking to make friends in the sport before I even go down there. And obviously it's Texas. It's going to be best of both worlds. There's a lot of fit people in Texas, and obviously a lot of guns. So it's going to be, I would say Texas is probably going to be one of the hardest competitions out there, as far as the first one to join in, which is the third one in their consecutive run. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Working on my weak points, obviously, like I said, core strength, doing a lot more holds, doing sandbags, more agility work, jumping on boxes, a lot of presses. A lot of their stuff they move are like axles, so you'll have to, and not like a car axle, but actual like axle bar with weights on it. So you have to pick it up, put it on your chest, and walk. Sandbags, static holds. A lot of there's some that you're doing like the assault bike. Just different things like that to get your heart rate up and taxed. And the things that I've seen that I think people need to work on from what I've been watching, one is that a lot of people are just going out and building these awesome guns, and I've been shooting for a long time, and I've shot badass guns and I've shot stock guns. And to me, a gun was always a tool. It wasn't really a accessory. So I look at them a lot different, because I want mine to perform as well as possible without hiccups. And a lot of these guys are not gun guys. A lot of these guys were like CrossFitters. So like I said, they have the fitness stuff down, but they don't really have the gun stuff down in even some of the higher categories. So, one thing I'll be working on definitely is making sure my guns are sound. I'll be running my my Kimber 1911 9mm, and it's proven to be set. Like it needs nothing. I don't even need to clean it right now. I've shot 50, 60 rounds through it a couple days ago, and I'll definitely be doing a lot more going up to the competition. My rifle, I do need a new scope. My EOTech that I had on there, my red dot, actually stopped working when my father had it. So I will be getting a scope to put on there. I need to get a sling. I put a bad lever on it, and I think that's really it. But it's got a heavy barrel. It's a competition ready gun, and it's never had a hiccup before. And I would say I have well over 5,000 to 7,000 rounds through that gun. It's been cleaned maybe a handful of times, maybe when my father used it a little bit more than I did when it was sitting at home. So that gun is sound, so I'm not really worried about the weaponry. I'm just trying to get myself prepared. Another thing that I've seen people, they are just not in shape. I mean, it comes down to plain and simple. I'll say it out. A lot of people are just not in shape for what they need to do, because it is a competition based on both. And also, one thing I also do not see is people really taking the time to hydrate. I don't see anybody drinking any type of water, especially in the heat. If you're doing a lot of calisthenics and you're not used to it and you're taxing your body, your CNS system is going to get taxed very fast, especially lifting weights in the sun. If you are obviously fatiguing yourself and you're not staying hydrated with electrolytes, and you're not keeping your carbs up to keep your muscles hydrated, that also is going to lead to a very rapid decline in your performance. And ultimately, you want to have both. You want to be able to perform lifting the weights, doing all the calisthenics, doing all the high intensity stuff, because as soon as you get done doing that, you have to go right over to the shooting. And a lot of people just cannot focus. They cannot get on target. They cannot stop shaking. And another thing that I've seen, not that I've seen, but I know that people need to work on, is building a better anaerobic base. I think that training and anaerobically, maybe once a week is fine. And then aerobically, definitely training as much as you can, 5 to 6 times a week, because the higher base you have, the better you are going to be able to come back down a lot faster. So if you're doing that high intensity assault bike and then you stop and you have to go into shooting, if your aerobic base and capacity is a lot higher going into that, you're going to be able to get right back to a lower heart rate, and that's going to ultimately help you get on target better. And so these are just some of the things that are going on in my head that I need to work on and plan on. So if you have done something like this, definitely drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. And any gear, I'll be going over some of the gear that I'm going to put on, like duty belt wise, and I have to get a plate carrier as well too. So I'll go over that in like a separate video. But yeah, guys, just happy to start working on something that's kind of taken my mind off of not really having or being able to compete. So definitely keep you guys posted, and if you guys have any questions, drop them below. And I want to meet some new people, so we'll talk to you guys later.